Hello, I am the Movie Nut, and today I'm talking about The Shining. Welcome back to the 100 Movies Bucket List. It has been a while since I have uploaded because I was very busy with college, assignments, work. My schedule is all over the place with COVID. I don't know where the fuck I'm going or not going with timetables and things. And obviously I have my bi-monthly motivational crash where I'm like, I don't want to make videos anymore. So that happens to me all the time. And I just kind of have to deal with it. But I really, really want to make videos right now. I've still been working through my 100 movies bucket list, and that's what we're talking about today with The Shining by Stanley Kubrick, as I just mentioned in the intro. I watched this movie, I think it's coming up on 4 months ago. I watched this. I sat down with my girlfriend and my sister to watch it. It would have been one of the first movies I watched for Halloween. I remember wanting to do a video essay on it, and I never got time. Maybe someday I will. The Shining, yeah. So, this is a weird one for me. Full disclosure, I didn't like it. And this is controversial. Shining is considered one of the greatest horror movies ever made. It's a masterpiece of direction. The performances are great. Blah, 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 blah. We've all heard that, right? I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily true. The Shining is a great film, but I don't like it that much.
Are you fucking dumb?
I thought that it was kind of boring. Now, I'll elaborate a little bit more. I'm not just going to say it was boring, I didn't like it. I watched the whole thing, had a few drinks, I think. And, you know, I like horror films, so I was excited to see did it live up to the hype. Things I liked about the movie first. The Overlook Hotel is fantastic. I will say the one thing about Kubrick, his sets are always unbelievable, and the Overlook Hotel is no exception. It's one of the best locations ever in a film. It's believably creepy. It's very maze-like, labyrinthine, sort of. You're uncomfortable in the setting from the. It feels like a spooky hotel, but it's probably the best example of a spooky hotel ever. So I have to give it props for that. Yeah, just the direction is good. You know, like it's fucking Kubrick. Like it is well directed. The movie looks great. You know, like the shots are like well put together. The editing's fine. From a mechanical level, the film is well made, right? But my issue with it comes from the fact that it's not fucking scary. It doesn't really feel like it's going anywhere. It drags so much, in my opinion. Now, this is such a subjective thing to talk about when horror movies are or aren't scary. So, some people might find The Shining terrifying and then think Poltergeist isn't scary, whereas Poltergeist fucking freaked me out as a kid, whereas I was bored during The Shining. There's only a couple scenes in this film that I thought were really, really good. Best scene in the film for me is when he meets I should say a little bit about what the movie's about first. For those of you who don't know, a writer, Jack Torrance, moves up to this hotel over the winter to be the caretaker with his wife and son. And he goes mad in the hotel. The movie's we all know what The Shining is about, vaguely, but that's essentially it. And it's his descent into madness. And it doesn't work for me. I've heard this criticism of it too. It doesn't work for me because Jack Nicholson's already kind of crazy from the start, right? And that is both fair and not fair. The reason it doesn't work for me is because it doesn't seem like there's a natural evolution of his craziness. Like, he just kind of gets angry, but it was already established in one of the deleted scenes that he was angry before because he hit his son before, and that's left out with the actual cut of the movie that I watched. I just know that because I read about it. And it just kind of like, it underdevelops his madness a little. He just fucking is mad now. And I found it really unsatisfying to watch. The scenes where he actually is mad are really good, you know, like the Here's Johnny stuff. The best scene in the film is when he is talking to the old caretaker in the bathroom and he realizes he has to kill his family and they all become part of the hotel and stuff. That scene's really, really creepy. And when he's talking, it's like, no, you're the caretaker now. You've always been the caretaker, or whatever he said to him. That was really creepy, and I really liked that scene. Where like the ghosts are in the hotel, and the movie has a lot of theories about it. That's really cool too. How there is a lot to this movie. Like, I do need to rewatch it, and out of all the reviews I've made or will make, this is probably, like, my opinion on this movie may change, but I'm looking at it as a horror film. It just wasn't scary. It let me down that way, and it wasn't really that entertaining either. Aside from that aforementioned scene, there's no like great dialogue exchanges. The performances, man,
with us.
I didn't like them. Like, Jack Nicholson's pretty good, but he has better performances on this board, and one coming up very soon, which I'll talk about. But in this, he's just a bit too over the top. Like, we've talked about like insane characters in Leon the Professional. That was better in my opinion. Like Gary Oldman was better as a psychopath. Joaquin Phoenix was better as a psychopath, and I just think that Jack Nicholson's performance in this isn't all that great. I think Shelley Duvall or Sherry Duvall, one of them. I can't fucking remember what it was. I thought her performance in this was terrible, man. Like, and I feel so bad because of reasons that I'll get to. Is another reason why I don't like this movie. But her performance wasn't good in this. It was so like it was. She was convincingly distressed, but that's because she wasn't acting. She actually was tortured in the fucking set. So it doesn't work for me that way because it's too. Oh, because she's actually upset, it's like too over the top for me. It comes across as cringy. It's like stage acting, but on a screen, so it looks ridiculous. And don't get me started on the child. It was terrible. They would ruin these dramatic scenes by like really cringy zooms on his face. Like he'd be there upset, and then it'd just be like, vroom, and he'd be like, in the chair, and it looked really fucking cringy. Like that ruined the hallway scene with the girls. Is really creepy, and then it cuts to his face, and it just looks ridiculous. So it just like the movie just didn't quite sit right with me. I still like I didn't mind it too much, and like my score is not super hard on the movie. My sister liked it. My girlfriend did not like it at all. Having watched more of the board, I can say Kubrick actually has like I've seen more. I was afraid I wouldn't like any of his films after this. I can say with confidence I do like more of his films now, but at the time it just underwhelmed me. And I was watching a lot of horror movies for Halloween and stuff, and this just didn't measure up at all. Like Scream, Evil Dead, these are all movies that I was watching at the same time frame, and I was like, these are fucking fantastic movies, and this just doesn't hit me the same way. Even other like Stephen King adaptations just blow this one out of the water. And I'm not talking about accuracy to the book or not, because that's a different thing. That I don't think a movie really should be judged. It kind of depends, really. If the movie is good on its own merit, I don't think it matters too much. But if the movie's bad, then that's another stick to hit it with. And the last thing I'll say about the movie is the fact that Kubrick was so I don't think there's any excuse for directors abusing their actors, making them do like hundreds and hundreds of takes for the sake of it. I'm studying to be a director. I've directed a short film. I've worked with actors. I am or was an actor. So I don't think there's any need for it. I think it's a load of shit. And the fact that he essentially tortured Duvall into giving a good performance and just having them worn out. Like it does give the movie that sort of like strange perform. Like Jack Nicholson said that after a while the performances just got really bizarre and like they all sort of got weird tics. But like as an actor, you're pretending. You shouldn't actually be mentally insane from a role. I find it more impressive when actors can just like switch it on and they don't have to be tortured into it. So the whole movie just doesn't sit quite right with me. That being said, I can't deny that it is a well-made film. It's not a bad movie. And some people like it is so the theories about it and the lore and how deep it goes and what it's a metaphor for, like the stuff with the Indian burial grounds and how it's like a condemnation of Americans destroying civilization and stuff. There's a theory that it's him confessing to fake the moon landings, all this shit, and the camera work is really nice, except for those zooms. So with that being said, I gave The Shining a 5 out of 10. And for the first time on the board, I'm actually going to include my family members' reviews. My sister gave the movie a 7, and my girlfriend gave it a 4. So that averages out as a 5.3 out of 10. Whoa, that review was kind of difficult to record. I am sorry that it seemed a bit rambled and all over the place. I watched this movie 4 months ago. I should have written notes and stuff, but I don't like scripting these. I want it to be my thoughts just as they are. I would like to make video essays on films and have like actual scripted series where I go like deeper into films. Maybe people could recommend ones to me and I'll do that. But for these, I just like to talk about movies. But yeah, no, The Shining is okay. Like, you might like it, you might not. That's why I gave it a 5. But I couldn't confidently recommend it to someone and say this is amazing. It's like, it's a classic film, but I don't like it. I can't help it. I tried, but I don't like it. So yeah, with that being said, I have been the Movie Nut, and I will see you guys again in the next one. Peace.